Okay, in this video we're going to do a tactics video, something I haven't done a while because I've been seriously focused on the rally out in Virginia in a couple weeks here. Now, what we're going to cover in this tactics video is hit and run ambush tactics. So this would be under Op4 doctrine, a harassment intent for an ambush. You're not trying to destroy your enemy, you're just trying to cause them damage, cause them casualties. You can use the same type of tactics against the same unit, the same convoy, repeatedly on a road or their route from one location to another. The best way to describe this is a small ambush ambushes larger elements to deliberately cause damage or slow them, and then they break contact before the enemy is able to gather their forces and counterattack. This is not to annihilate. This type of ambush is something you did see in Afghanistan, especially against the Soviets. That's actually where I got the idea on this, that and studying stuff from Vietnam. Now, in this type of ambush, you're going to have your element is going to be a lot smaller than the element that is being ambushed. So you need to be spread out over a larger area than is normal or is according to doctrine, possibly down to the point of two-man teams spread out through the ambush zone. These teams should have complementary weapons, such as a sniper paired with someone who is a grenadier, has that 203 or comparable weapon, a saw gunner with a rifleman with light anti-tank weapons, a general purpose machine gun paired with someone who has a submachine gun or a carbine. Or you could think of this as fire team strong points, and you're spread out over a long area. This is a very long linear ambush. In Afghanistan, you could have ambushes that were literally a half-mile long of just individual teams spread out on hilltops, spread out on the ridges. And as you're going down the road, you know, the next team engages you, and then you keep going, then the next team, the next team, the next team, the next team. They're trying to take out your vehicle, they're trying to cause damage on the vehicle, they're trying to blow up the supply trucks, they're trying to hit the troops inside. Now, we're going to be concentrating primarily on these guys, our blue force, our friendlies, us. Now, in order for this to be employed, these guys, the ones doing the ambush, because they're a smaller element, ambushing a larger element, they must be well trained. They must have rehearsed this repeatedly till they can do it in their sleep. They should be experienced at operating together on this type of mission, or just operating together, period. They need to know what each other's reactions are. The person that is in charge must lay out set criteria as to when to disengage. Now, an ambush like this, you're probably not going to have the leader, say, firing off a flare or tossing a smoke grenade or something like that as your signal to disengage. Something like this will probably be on the lines of your machine gunners will get told, spray the convoy with 100 rounds. So you have two belts of 7.62 belted together for your 240 or your PKM. You have half a drum, 100 rounds for your saw set up, ready to go. Now your riflemen, probably tell them to use one magazine, maybe two magazines. Tell your grenadier, you know, so many 40 millimeter grenades. Your anti-tank person, you know, maybe have 3 law rockets. And once they fire off those 3 rockets, they're done. Unless you have them fire off a magazine also as part of this. As soon as each team finishes their allotted ammunition inside this ambush, they break contact. They just pull out and they haul rear, going back to a rally point. Now, this element should have some type of security on their flanks to prevent them from being flanked by the enemy element that is outside the kill zone, especially if you're ambushing dismounted troops. These over here, if you're not aware of, are symbols for tripwire initiated anti-personnel mines. So what we have here, off on their side, they put in some anti-personnel mines, some bouncing Bettys, Palm Zs, whatever they have available to them. They got them spread out along their flanks, so if the enemy tries flanking them, they run right into those mines. And that'll slow them up, or at a minimum, it'll let these guys know that, hey, the enemy's coming from this direction to try to take me out. When they hear that mine going off, that should be a signal to them that, hey, we need to pull out. And then who knows, maybe you have some type of prearranged signal that will then get sent down the line to notify them that, hey, the enemy's flanking. Maybe you tell these guys down here that, hey, this team here, since they got mines on their flank, if they hear the mine going off, the enemy's coming up, let's say they toss a hand grenade in. They toss a grenade out, it doesn't reach the target, it falls short. When that goes off, these guys over here see it, so they'll toss it, say, up in here. These guys see it, and they realize, hey, we need to pass down the signal. They do the same thing. They would pass it over here, so these guys then know. After they toss their grenade and it goes off, that's when the team falls back. If they get flanked from over here, same thing. These guys would toss a grenade up into here. They see it. They toss a grenade up in here, goes off, they pull back. These guys see the grenade going off, they pull back. You get the idea. Some type of prearranged signal and everybody knows it. As I said, the whole purpose of this is just to cause damage, cause the enemy casualties. You're not trying to wipe them out. It's not likely you're going to. You're a smaller force taking on a larger force. So this is a common tactic. It gets employed a lot by guerrillas. And as I said, in OPFOR doctrine, the term they use for it, the intent, is called a harassment ambush. You can employ this against truck convoys on a road. You're hitting that supply convoy, hitting that security convoy. You can employ it against troops that are doing sweep operations. They're moving through the woods, moving through the jungles, wherever, trying to find you. You ambush a part of that element. You're not necessarily going to hit them in the center. You'll hit them at the front or you'll hit them at the rear. You hit them in the center, well then they'll try flanking you from both ends. That's why you really would want to concentrate on one end or the other. On a vehicle convoy, maybe them you'd probably want to hit in the center. Just to cause that massive break in there, cause the ones that are in front to either have to stop, back up, or stop, consolidate until everyone gets through. The ones at the rear are going to have to try to consolidate, flank, whatever. You're just trying to cause that chaos on the enemy, cause them casualties, which then they're going to have to take care of. They have to use their assets to get those casualties out of there before they can continue the mission. And then later, while that is going on, you're repositioning farther ahead to where you know the enemy is going to be moving through, and you do the same tactics again. And you just keep going till whatever the ultimate mission is. You've either caused the enemy to be attrited a certain percentage, say you've taken out 25% approximately of their strength or 50% of their strength, or say you've destroyed the if it's a truck convoy, you've destroyed all the tanker trucks, or you've destroyed the trucks that were carrying artillery ammunition, whatever it turns out to be. So this is a basic guerrilla tactic. Now, for all my engineer brothers in the Patriot and militia movements, always remember, essayons.